Welcome to HomeFront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out HomeFront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Out on the edge of the battle and back, we've carried the weight and we've walked every track. From desert dust to the fire at home, we've learned how to fight, how to stand alone. But no one tells you what comes after the war, when silence is louder than the guns we bore. That's where we speak, that's where we heal, stories too real for Hollywood reels. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. It ain't all medals and waving flags. There's pain in the silence and weight in the facts. But we've got a mic and a mission to share, to tell the damn truth, cause somebody's gotta care. We laugh, we cry, we cuss, we pray. We honor the ones who ain't here today. From basic to battle and back to the block. This is our rhythm of round table talk. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Still heavy in dreams out of reach, full of lessons the textbooks could never teach. We're sounding off, no filter, no prep. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. So if you've worn the boots or love someone who did, if you swallowed your hurt and kept it all hid, pull up a chair, you're not alone. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, where courage meets scars and raw honesty. This is our anthem, our truth intercept. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. For the ones still standing and those we've lost yet, for every single story we'll never forget. We speak so others won't forget. This is the HomeFront Sitrep podcast. Real talk, real facts, real life. HomeFront Sitrep podcast, where the mission continues.
Welcome everybody to a Sunday edition of HomeFront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Gunny, how are you, sir?
Out freaking standing is how I'm doing today. Had a great weekend. Sorry I had to jump off tip of the spear early. The wife and I had a very long drive. It was for me it was a short drive, 8.5 hours, but had a good drive to DC, little to no excitement. And we had some snow up here in Northern Kentucky when we left. And then we were in and out of it all the way till probably, I don't know, about an hour from Morgantown, West Virginia. Got into DC, got checked into the hotel and just relaxed. And then thought I was going to end up in the hospital. So,
oh, man.
Yeah, we thought it was another bout of cholangitis, which it may have been, but we caught it early enough. Called my gastro doctor, and they called in the script, and right across the street was a Walgreens. So we were able to go over there, pick it up, and April got some meds in me. And next day woke up, went and toured the People's House, the White House. If you've never been, I mean, there's just a lot of history there. Every president has resided in the White House except for Washington, right?
Yeah,
and some of them didn't stay there their full term because when the British burned the White House, it had to come under Reconstruction. So it was a period of time that whoever the president was then wasn't able to sit there, and then some other Reconstruction stuff, and during the building of it, because I don't think John Adams didn't live there his first full term either. But but it was nice, man. It's a short tour, but if you if you do it yourself. If you listen to the Secret Service agent that's talking about each room, it's about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
But I mean, they have paintings of Washington and George Washington and Martha Washington, of Abe Lincoln, of gosh, Kennedy, the going up the stairs that you see in most of the news feeds
Right. Right.
is both Bushes are on the stairs going up. The current sitting president has their painting prominent at the bottom of the stairs in the entryway. But it was so nice, dude. It was so cool, and to experience that with the wife. And then, of course, we had the Soldiers Sidelines Gala that night. So thankful for Harrison and Mike and everybody involved with Soldiers Sidelines. They put on a great program. A lot of money was raised for the program, and obviously honoring 3 prominent people who were veteran or business or in athletics. And then honoring, all the soldier coaches and especially last year's coaches. So it was cool. And I don't even have them in here. See, I'm not even prepared.
Oh man.
But on the back of the menu was a picture of a soldier coach, and then a little bio about them, and then something they had said about Soldiers Sidelines and the impact Soldiers Sidelines has had on their life. So, like me being January, there was a bunch with me on it, and then all the way to December. And we had to look for me. Our whole this table was December.
Oh, okay.
So we did find some. I'll sign one and ship it your way.
Yeah, I gotta meet up with you anyway. So to get my charger back that I left in there, and somehow I got underneath the seat in your car, man.
Yeah, I'll be coming down that way this week. I got to go with my buddy Daryl and find out when I can pick up the flag that he built for me.
Okay.
So it will be this week that I'll be coming down. And then
Yeah.
team wise, we don't have anything until the end of the month, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm home. So training. That's all I'll be doing.
There you go. There you go.
Getting
No, man.
getting
I'm
fit, getting in
yeah.
shape. Round is
SOF.
the perfect shape, and I guess my wife doesn't want me there anymore. So I need to
Well,
thin out a little bit.
that Chris May performance is kicking your butt, it seems like.
He's doing something.
Yeah, yeah. So big shout out to SOF Missions and Chris May performance out of Tampa.
Yeah.
If you're a veteran or first responder, check out SOF Missions down in Tampa. Damon Friedman is one of the co-founders. Him and his wife created an amazing organization down there for veterans. It's I would say it's one of the top tier veteran nonprofits out there at the present moment in time that still care about us as veterans. Because we know that you got your big ones out there, but these are the ones that still care about us as veterans. So, definitely going to give it a big shout out to them. Man, I tell you, this week, since last episode was, pretty chill, honestly. And Friday night, I went up and grabbed Grace from EKU. So I drove all the way up to Richmond, came back home, had her here for the weekend. And then Julie took her back today. Actually, that Julie's on her way back now from dropping her off. Got to go to Texas Roadhouse with the fam. So Julie's sister and her kids and mother-in-law just had a really good time at Texas Roadhouse today, and just kind of chill, kind of weekend pretty much. I did work on Saturday, so weather-wise,
Well, you got to make up for all those hard snow days that we
yeah,
had, that you
yeah.
guys couldn't do anything, and the ground was hard and you couldn't trench, or the ground was sopping wet and you couldn't trench. So
Yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah.
you got to make up for it now.
Yeah, so, worked on Saturday, worked 8 hours, came home from work, and what did we do Saturday night? Both kids were working until about 8:30, so the wife and I had some free time just to enjoy each other's company for a little bit, and,
She didn't make you watch that Kentucky basketball team.
no, she will
God.
not watch, she will not, 'cause I'm not a UK fan, so she will not watch Kentucky basketball with me in the room, 'cause I pick at her all the time. I
See,
was
you guys are like the Republicans and the Democrats, right? You got the red and the blue in
yes,
your own household because of
yes,
that one blue Kentucky team and then the one red Kentucky team, and you
yeah,
guys always fighting over that.
yeah. So we're always
And the
fighting.
only common ground you have is that you hate Duke.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah. We both hate Duke. Unfortunately, our kids do too. But it is what it is. You know, U of L lost and Kentucky won, so I had to hear that. But I did have to remind her when we played Kentucky this year, we did beat them in basketball and football. So that kind of quieted her mouth down a little bit, but not too much. So uh,
No, just for a second.
yeah,
Just for a
yeah.
second.
She's
I know
she's
how your wife
definitely
is.
she's definitely one of those obnoxious Kentucky fans for sure. Um, the ones you always hear about all the time. So, but no, other than that, man, it's been a pretty chill kind of week. Been reaching out to some other nonprofits and scheduling things for
Kevin
getting
says
them.
he's ready whenever you are. Him and Sandy both came to the gala to support myself and Soldiers of Sideline. So I sent you his number last week. So reach out so you can talk about boots and beaches, what they got
Yeah,
coming up there.
yeah, definitely. The Boots to Beaches, is that the one you're talking about? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, we could definitely. I need to reach out to them tomorrow, get them scheduled. But no, so I think we're pretty much booked out. Um, for March, I think we might have a few dates left, but
I
I
think
got to
there's
get to.
one day. I'm not here the last weekend. I'm in Maine
Yeah,
the last Sunday, Monday.
yeah,
So
we got to get you to record a couple of
the words of wisdom.
words of
Yeah,
wisdom.
I'll
Yeah,
do that tomorrow and get them to you.
yeah. That way we'll have them for that last weekend anyway of
Yep.
March. So today on the show we got Warriors Mountains Rivers Adventure. We got them on tonight, which we're getting ready to bring them up on the screen, and we're gonna chat with them for the next 45 minutes or so. And then tomorrow we have Josh White. I'm trying to place uh, who Josh White is. I want to say Josh White Racing.
Yeah.
That's where he is. He's a
He's a
NASCAR
Marine,
driver.
correct?
And he's a Marine, yes. Served in the Marine
Marine
Corps
Reserve, right?
Reserves, yes. He actually has two cars in the ARCA, I want to say ARCA series at the present moment, on the dirt track at the present moment in time. But he's working his way back up to NASCAR into the Sprint Cup and
It's not
the
Sprint anymore.
yeah, but you know what I'm
It's
talking
the
about.
Cup series.
The Cup series
The
and
Cup series.
so he's trying to work his way back up.
Yep.
So I'm super excited about that. But anyway, so tonight we have Warriors Mountain Rivers Adventures. I was talking a little bit ahead of myself there. A nonprofit dedicated to helping veterans and first responders rediscover purpose, connection, and healing through the outdoors. Founded by Robert and Amy Nuttall, WMRA takes those who have carried the weight of service into the mountains, onto the rivers, and into immersive outdoor adventures designed to rebuild camaraderie and restore the spirit. Man, they go a little bit everywhere. So we were going to discuss why nature-based healing works for trauma recovery, the power of brotherhood and sisterhood after service, how outdoor challenges rebuild confidence and resilience. Some things that we've already touched on pretty much, but we're going to bring it out on a different level. What do you think, Gunny?
We've had a lot of outdoor, you know, eccentric nonprofits on the show. We've had a lot of fishing nonprofits on the show. But there is no better therapy than Mother Nature, right? No matter what it is. And I don't care if every single show we have a fishing nonprofit on the show. I don't care if we have a hunting nonprofit on every show, or if you just want to get immersed in nature. I don't care because it's the best form of therapy. Sitting in a friggin' room talking one on one or talking in the group bugs the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be on the boat, on the shore, up to my waist with a line in the water. That line is my serenity. That line is my reset. I go, man, I'm gone probably 30 weeks of the year with the team. I could be gone, like when I go to Japan, I'll be gone for almost a week. I could get back from Japan and tell my wife, hey, I need to go fishing. You know what she'd say? See you when you get home.
Yeah.
Let me know when you get there. Let me know you're safe every night. And when I get home, I'm a different person. She doesn't care because she knows.
Yeah. And we talked about it. Mine is just being outside in nature. I don't care if it's hiking, if it's just going out to a cabin in the middle of the woods and enjoy nature and just, wake up 0 dark 30, go out and sit next to a creek somewhere and just watch nature wake up. Whether I'm deer hunting, whatever I'm doing, squirrel hunting, deer hunting, turkey hunting, whatever, or just going out there and just sitting and just listening to the water flow, the sun come up, feel that first ray of sunshine, listen to the squirrels and the birds.
Yep.
And
Frig them squirrels, man. Squirrels and chipmunks.
Yeah.
When you're hunting, you don't want to hear them because they let everybody know where you're at.
Oh yeah, they definitely
The
do.
hell with it. And they eat the shit out of my wife's bird food from the bird feeder.
We got to make
Or
sure
not
they don't
them
do
and
that.
the raccoon, the
The
daggum stinking
raccoons.
raccoons the same way. She pulls up, we're in DC, and she pulls up her app, and all you see is big freaking raccoon in the feeder. And then you see the snout of a deer up in the feeder, and then you see a friggin' squirrel in the feeder, and he was there for an hour.
Dang, getting his
I could
jaws
do without him.
Getting his jaws filled up there.
Anyway, we're wasting Robert's time. He's sitting there back there listening to us run our sucks. We've already introduced the nonprofit. We went off on tangents. I went off on a tangent. Let's stop dicking around here and bring him on.
Let's do it. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We are doing wonderful. First off, I want to say thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come hang out with Gunny and I to hear us bump our gums at first. But thank you for taking time out and hanging out with us here for this hour.
My pleasure.
All right, do me a favor and introduce yourself to the world of HomeFront Sitrep, if you don't mind.
Robert Nuttall, Major, retired. Let's see. I'm married. It's my greatest accomplishment. Greatest accomplishment is giving.
I say the greatest accomplishment is that she said yes, right?
Right. Yeah.
Not the fact that
the greatest accomplishment, was giving over my life to Jesus Christ before the war started in Iraq. That pretty much set I wouldn't know it, but it would change my life. But then a close second is my wife. Yeah. So I've been married 27 years, I think, somewhere around there. She's not watching. I should know that. But 4 children, 5 grandchildren, 1 on the way. My legacy is very proud of my children. Grandchildren give me a lot of joy. I went in the Army. I was commissioned out of the greatest basketball program in America. That's the University of Houston, which is going to go into March, hopefully as a number one seed. Again,
so you said she's watching. Oh,
just so you know, your wife's watching. You're in trouble.
So I went 4 years active duty. And I loved the Army. It was something I had to do. I felt that calling my whole life. So it was just something I had to do. I had a pre-infantry degree, it was like a history,
right.
But I was commissioned in the military police. I was an MP for 4 years, and I had the opportunity to go into federal law enforcement. So I became a drug enforcement agent. Somebody had to work undercover in the middle schools. That was me. I was very young. But I stayed in the reserves and I continued to get promoted. So working DEA, still in the reserves. 9/11 happened, and I found myself a company commander of an MP company in Grand Prairie, Texas. And when the towers fell, we'll date all of ourselves, but the pagers were just going off like crazy. I was in the Houston Federal Building, and you would have thought every federal building in America was going to get attacked. But I don't think, I probably can speak for the three of us here. I mean, at that moment, I didn't really know how that moment would change our lives.
Yeah.
But I would soon find out, then I started getting little clips of, get ready, Robert, you're going, right? I remember being at Camp Dodge, Iowa, and my friend worked the skiff, and I knew he had the tip fid, the troop deployment list. And I said, a very classified question. I said, is our unit on it? And he takes me up to the window and he goes, what do you see, Robert? And I go, well, all the trucks are lined up. All the vehicles are lined up. He goes, where are they lined up for? And I go, paint shop. He goes, what color paint they getting? I go, desert brown. He goes, well, that ought to tell you right there.
Yeah.
And I was at Fort Hood in the commissary, and this chaplain walked up to me and he goes, I see you're with the 607th MPs. I go, yes, sir. And he goes, you're getting deployed. And he just walked off. I never even got his name.
Oh,
and about December of 2002, I believe. Yeah, we were alerted. And then we went over to Kuwait in January in 2003, and then the war kicked off.
So you did the push into Iraq.
Yeah. And the war kicked off in March. And our mission was basically, we had about 250 clicks north of Safwan, right on the Kuwait border going towards Baghdad. And, just doing what MPs do. We have numerous missions, got to keep the troops moving forward, supplies and logistics, keep the MSRs open. To put a feather in my hat, I think we did a really good job as a unit. All my soldiers were very highly decorated. I was given accolades. I got promoted to major, and then I got injured. I had a pretty serious head injury, and it just changed everything. So I was 34 years old. Was dealing with an open head injury of about 32 square inches. The back of my head was just completely gone. So a lot of surgeries, plastic surgeries. I said, Doc, I just want to look like Robert Redford when this is all done. And they nailed it. So it took about a year to recover, speech therapy and occupational therapy and vocational therapy and all the therapies. And I got about as good as I could get. And I'm like 35 years old and I have all these kids, and I'm like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? That would be a question each one of you men would ask, right? I mean, how am I going to support my family? And then before the war started, I was baptized, because we were going to get slimed. I went into a brigade commander's briefing before we broke the berm and said, half of you are going to die. He's got chemical weapons. We're getting slimed tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera. And I remember going back to my company and I said, hey, look, guys, when the bullets start flying tomorrow, I'm going to be right behind you guys every step of the way. That was a joke.
Yeah.
We needed a little levity at the moment, we were wearing the J list, the equipment with the lowest bidder and everything else, we were all pretty scared, but the Scuds were coming in about 7 a day. I think we were going into MOP 4, and the NBC vehicles, I forget what they were called. They were running everywhere doing their sniffer test, and our M8 alarms are going off, and we're popping M256 kits, and everything is all NBC, at least for the first 3-4 months. And then we pretty much got beyond that, and then it became just like a regular ASIP, a regular war, not really worrying about the NBC stuff. But so I found myself unemployed, slightly disabled, cognitively not where I used to be.
And they hadn't even started naming TBI yet, right? I
was very young, very early at BAMC. I was like some of their first guys to run through with head traumas, and
it was still the post-concussive syndrome.
I was kind of like a guinea pig in a way. A lot of new medicines they were throwing at me, and But I went to the VA after all my recovery, and I was like, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I was praying and praying. I thought, I played football, and I was like, maybe I could be a coach, or something. I felt like, my whole life I felt like I was serving. While I was serving in the Army, I was serving in the DEA. I felt like I was serving my country, making the world safer, my neighborhood safer. I mean, really, it really felt like that for me. And so I knew whatever I had to do was to serve. And I felt this huge calling to go and serve in the church. So I went to the VA and I said, do you mind if I take a class? And they go, Robert, you can't be successful in school. Cannot be successful. And they said, we're looking at your neuropsychological evaluations, and there's no way you can. I said, I don't even remember taking those. And they're like, well, that's my point, And I'm like, so I kind of got snotty with them, and I'm like, let me take a class or not? So they let me take a class, and Southern Methodist University had a satellite campus in Houston, and I took a class and got an A. And 4 years later, I graduated seminary. And I served in my local neighborhood church for 8 years. And the whole time I had a side ministry of where I ministered to veterans. And where I live is a very patriotic area. And we probably had the highest concentration of World War II vets anywhere in the country, without exaggerating. And I was their de facto chaplain. So I would go in, and Wednesday mornings, we would have these meetings, and it was just coffee and breakfast. All these local restaurants, I mean, they scratched and clawed to feed these heroes. I mean, they were catered every Wednesday morning with the finest breakfasts, the country can cook up. And I was their de facto chaplain. So I'd go in there and pray with them, eat with them. I'd do their funerals because many of them didn't have churches. And I was just so happy to do that for that season. And then it became time to leave the church. And so I was like, well, now what am I going to do? And this is about the beginning of COVID. And my wife and I, she's from Colorado. And I said, we wanted to buy a retirement home. And the criteria I had is I wanted to be able to fly fish. I needed to be able to afford it. And I wanted to be able to ski because I do adaptive skiing. Nice. I use outriggers on my hands because my left leg doesn't do what it's supposed to do sometimes. So about 80% of the time I'm skiing fine. The other 20% is pure terror.
Oh, dang.
Because I can't get my leg to go. So I use these outriggers and I can get around the mountain pretty good. And so I found this little town called Pagosa Springs. I had a Marine buddy, Gunny. He invited me out there and fell in love with the town and brought my wife up. And we started, she fell in love with the town, and we started house hunting, and we found this house. Could afford it. And it's right on the San Juan River. It was a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, really nice home. And the first time I went up there, I just felt this pressure in my heart, and it was like, you got to share this with some other people. And I'm like, I can do that. And so I did like a little test run in January of 2021. I brought 6 vets up, kind of like-minded. They were amateur woodworkers like me, and brought them to the house and went over to my Marine buddy's place, who has a wood shop, and we made fishing nets. Oh, and nice. In our spare time, we went fishing and we did a little hiking in the mountains. And I said, that's all the confirmation I needed. And applied for a 501c3 right at the beginning of COVID. And that's when all of the major nonprofits shut down. Yep. Every single one of them. Yep. In a time, and this is my own feeling, but in a time when the vets needed them the most, they weren't there.
Yep.
And they let the lawyers they let the lawyers take over the warrior spot.
Yep.
Yeah. All these CEOs, some of them, like Project Healing Waters was commanded by an 06 Marine. I mean, like Silver Star stacked, and he just gave it up to the lawyer. No more trips. No, nothing. I was pretty involved with them. And then, they started opening, oh, look, Robert, let me see your vaccine card. Like, you can't ask for that, bro. What are you talking about? First of all, we're meeting outside in a pavilion. If you get COVID meeting outside, tying flies, then that was God's will for you, bro. you were just meant to have it. And I'm not giving you my vaccine card. I'm not giving you my shot record. That is illegal. You can't do that. And so it just, all through COVID, we ran trips. Every month I ran vets up there to Colorado. And Colorado, this town's a 4-season town. And we just take what the season gives us.
Mm.
You know, in January, we were, ice fishing. We were fishing on Gold Medal waters on the San Juan River below Navajo Dam. I mean, we went snowmobiling up there, some light hiking, and then we hit the hot springs. And so when we go back in May, it's going to be whitewater rafting. So we're going to do a lot of whitewater rafting because of the snow melt, and do some fishing, some hiking, and all that stuff. So looking for a good time in May. But yeah, so I founded the organization on the way that I healed. And it really was through outdoor therapy. I mean, to me, the closest I am with God is with a fly rod in my hand on a mountain stream. And I'm telling you, just the piece of the river, the million colors of river rock rippling over the river. I mean, it's, to me, that's heaven, you know. And then it's just combat multiplied when you're there with your veteran brothers and sisters. Okay, because we have to heal in community.
Well, I mean, there's the talking of the poo. There's the bragging rights, right? So it's that you're building that camaraderie over the stream, over the lines, right? And it's not the telephone line, it's the fishing line, right? And that's the only line I want to be tied to,
right?
But you know, at the end of the day, it's, hey, I caught my fish. You didn't even catch anything today, right? And we'll help you tomorrow. Right. We'll let you fish for the first hour before we put some, right. So it's all that trash talking that goes on. But at the end of the day, you're building a network of people, like-minded people that you can reach out to if you're having an issue, or they can reach out to you if they're having an issue. And that's what I like about fishing is, and it doesn't matter if it's fly fishing. I prefer fly fishing or ice fishing or deep sea fishing or fishing in the lake or spider rigging for some crappie. It's just that time together. You're at one with nature. And that's truly one of the only times that you are a fisher of men, right? And you're helping these vets overcome some of the issues that they may have.
When we set up the nonprofit, I did not set it up as a religious nonprofit. I mean, it would have been easier in the South. I could have walked into every Baptist church and just asked for money for my vets and everything else. But what I really felt, and I'll share with you guys, is God was just asking me, you know, in the middle of COVID, when legitimately probably 22 veterans a day were committing suicide, I felt like God was just saying, Robert, do what you can to stop the killing. Just put your hand between the hammer and the primer, you know, just put your hand right there and let it snap you. And so our first mission statement is to disrupt the epidemic of suicide in our community. You know, we have a very small, misunderstood community. And I think the suicide epidemic in our community is an embarrassment to our country. One of the biggest embarrassments ever. I mean, if you juxtapose the number of vets that have committed suicide with the Vietnam vets KIA, it's almost double. Think about that.
Yeah.
And that's alarming to people who have never heard that. They're like, are you kidding me? No. And that's not hyperbole either. That's truth.
Unfortunately, that number keeps climbing. You know, they say 22 a day, but if you really dive into it, unfortunately, it's more between 45 to 55 a day that commit suicide. And and Gunny and I, we talk about it all the time on the show, is too many people are talking the talk. We don't have enough people out there walking the walk, because that's what it's going to take. You know, they spent billions on friggin' awareness. There's awareness. You turn your head and there's awareness, but there's not enough people out there friggin' walking the walk and actually doing something to help combat. Because you could sit here and you could talk.
There are because there are a lot of nonprofits that are doing the right thing to help combat it. Our lawmakers, all the decision makers, the VA are not doing anything to combat it. Hey, go take this class, take this pill. It's going to make you feel like crap, but here, take it. If they would spend the same amount of money as they did raising awareness, as they would doing taking an action, you'd see that number come down.
Yeah.
But it takes the small nonprofits to reach what they can.
Yeah.
They're doing their part.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there doing their part.
Trying to fill the
Problem is
gap.
Our government.
That's all we're trying to do is fill
Our
the gaps.
VA's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then, go ahead.
Yeah, our
Go
first
ahead, Rob.
mission was to disrupt suicide. And the second one is, like you guys we've been talking about, is I believe that you have to fight PTSD and trauma from a position of strength, because the enemy is too formidable, right?
Yeah.
You have to respect PTSD. And the way that my life is right now, you have to be strong physically, you have to be strong mentally, and you have to be strong spiritually. And when you fall in any of those one or two or three spots, who comes knocking?
Yeah.
You don't even have to be religious to understand that demons come knocking. As soon as you start, I got a 3-day migraine, and all of a sudden, here's the devil whispering in my ear saying, Robert, you are just a worthless POS. You're not even a shell of the man you used to be. You used to command troops in combat. You used to be this, and this, and you are. This is all stuff whispering in my ear. And you don't even have to be religious, and that's happening.
Oh yeah.
And I was just thinking about that poor vet, about the agony he must have been in about 2 months ago to walk into the San Antonio VA and kill himself right there in the lobby.
Yeah.
Imagine the demons he was hearing.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you go back and look, that VA said your case isn't severe enough.
What he did was a statement.
Well, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. It happened here in Dayton, Ohio. It happened right here in Dayton, Ohio, multiple times.
Yeah.
Right? There was a case out of Atlanta where the kid went 3 different times to the VA with suicidal ideations, and they're like, your case isn't severe enough. And he finally wrapped himself up in a curtain for the bathtub and ended it.
Yeah.
Because the VA wasn't doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't taking care of us when they said they would.
It's tragic. And, I do what I can. I tell this story to some people, but there was a young Navy veteran who we were going to take on a trip. Now, her MOS in the Navy was a chef. I don't know what MOS that was, but that was her job. She says, Robert, I would love to cook for you guys. That would make me happy. And I'm like, sure. Cooking's not my thing. I do it, and I'm a host, and I serve veterans. But I said, if that makes you happy, we're going to make it work. Give me your grocery list. I'm going to buy the things. We'll make it happen. And we had this game plan going. And about a week before the trip, she calls me and says, I have a work conflict and I can't go. And I said, well, we'll get you on the next one. No worries, right? 2 months later, she kills herself. And I think, could my program have made a difference? I don't know, but I think about it. And she was young. She was probably early 30s. I think about that. But, I tell people our program saves lives. And I said, it's not hyperbole. I hate hyperbole. I said, we save lives, and that's real. That's ground truth. And it's more than just a fishing trip. It's more than just rafting or hiking or whatever. It's sitting around the dinner table family style, because our third point in our mission is, the number one thing vets miss the most when they leave the service is the camaraderie. And we do that organically. We usually bring out about 8 vets on our trips, and that's a squad. And every service understands a squad. The house holds 8. I can sleep 8. I bring 8. And I put 8 around the dinner table, and you would not imagine the things that come out. On our last trip, we had a Vietnam vet just break down in tears because he had to bury his son. And, we're getting to the age in the global war on terror. I mean, all of us are plus or minus 5-10 years, right? The amount of wisdom around that table helped him out. It wasn't much that I said that helped him. It was the vets that were around the table that got that man through that moment. And that's what it's all about, you know? And I was just thanking God. I was like, man, these guys are, I mean, what a blessing that was, to have those guys around there, and they knew exactly what to say to get him through that moment. And it was a tough moment. I wasn't expecting that. I did not know that about him. But I brought guys out that I kind of watch on social media, and they're having a real hard time. Guys that have just lost their spouses. And I'm like, dude, come out with us.
Yeah.
I'm a trained counselor, so I'm prepared for a complete breakdown with these guys. And they break down. And I talk them through a point where they just feel good about themselves in the trip. I said, this is what your wife would want, man. She would want you out here with these guys. She would want you enjoying life and getting the most out of it and living it to the fullest. That's what your spouse would want. And they're like, Robert, you're right. She wouldn't want me sulking. She wouldn't want me with this much pain and guilt. And for me to help these guys through it is just, I just feel like that's God's calling in my life. And I'm proud to do it. And we're going to continue to do this as long as we're resourced. And there's a need, and nobody in our organization takes a salary. We're all volunteers, and we just put our best foot forward. We have no hidden agendas, no ulterior motives. We simply want to help our guys and our gals, our veterans, make it all the way home completely.
Yeah. I mean, that's always a positive. That's always something that, as a nonprofit, you strive for, to make sure that all the people that come through, for one, they get that sense of camaraderie, whether it's sitting around a riverbank at the end of the night around a bonfire, or you're sitting down at the dinner table and you're breaking bread with your brothers and sisters, or just throughout the day when you're sitting there on the riverbank casting a line, or you're in whitewater rafting and you're building that trust with the person to your left to the person behind you or in front of you, depending on where you're at in the boat, building that trust and building that camaraderie with them. And that, I think that is definitely a major thing when it comes to nonprofits, is building that camaraderie and then building that trust, because sometimes veterans, and I'm going to say this, a lot of veterans, we like to put up a wall because there's only a select few people that we trust in our life and that we let in our inner circle when it comes to past trauma and stuff of that nature. Gunny and I, when we were down in Tampa for the SOF missions, there was a veteran in there said he only had 2 people in his inner circle. And that was at the beginning of the class. So like when we first started down there at this retreat, and at the end of it, he says, now I got 11 more in my inner circle. Yeah. So, that's always a testament to an organization when you can break down walls and get to that healing portion or the beginning stages of healing, because it's so hard. As veterans, it's so hard to even get to that point, because whether you're carrying the guilt, whether you're carrying the trauma that might have happened to you, whether you're you've seen something and your moral injury is almost ungodly to bear. It's one of those things. You got to break that wall. And I'm grateful there's organizations out there that can actually break that wall, because there's too many veterans out there that don't want that wall to come down, because behind that wall they feel safe, and they don't feel granted, there are veterans out there that think, well, hey, I would be better off, they would be better off if I'm not here. But what veterans are not thinking about at that time is, yeah, you might be better off. You're not dealing with the struggles that you were that you were facing, but the people you love the most, now they are dealing with the struggles that you're no longer here. So yeah, I'm grateful for organizations out there like yours that is out there making an impact into the veteran community. My dogs are barking.
Yeah.
Making an impact into the veteran community where it's helping in your corner of the world over there.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to see, that happen.
Yeah. I mean, we run through probably hundreds of vets a year, and I can't be best friends with all of them. But what they know leaving is they can call me on this phone and I'm going to answer.
Yeah.
And if I ain't got the answer, I'm going to help them find it.
Yeah.
I just got a call this evening about, a vet called me and goes, my mother-in-law's husband passed away. How do I get a DD-14? And I'm walking them through, I think you got to go to the regional office and down in Houston, and you can wait for it. And, so I get calls like that. And I've walked people off ledges. I probably get 2 or 3 crisis calls a month, but like you were saying earlier, my thing is if you put yourself out there as a vet, as one of these guys who tattoo, I got your 6 on the arm and always talking about being there. If you put yourself out there as that guy, then be that guy. There's nothing more BS than that guy who doesn't answer the phone or who's a phony. If you put yourself out there, be that guy or girl, answer the phone. Sometimes it's just listening. And usually when somebody's in crisis, it's just for a moment. You just get them through that moment. And then, then we can send the cavalry, but it's just talking and listening and getting them through that moment. And then, finding the people who are out there can help. We just there's so many people who have so many contacts, we can get you help, but just don't do anything stupid tonight, And so, I'm a big proponent in that,
Yeah. No,
and I always tell our vets one thing: choose life.
Yeah.
Always choose life.
I can tell you, Gunny and I, we've preached that for 3 years now. If my phone rings, I answer it, and my wife will tell you that I don't care what time of night it is. It could be 3:00 in the morning. If my phone rings, I'm going to answer it. And she's like, "Why do you answer the ones that say spam?" I said, "Because you never know. It could be a veteran calling, and it's just showing up as spam." But I always answer it. And she's like, "I don't understand why you do that." And I was like, "Well, because I put it out there a long time ago that if any veteran needs me, my phone's always open. My phone number's out there. And I've had the same phone number for over 20 years. And I've got veterans that I met in 2004 that still call me and check in, make sure I'm doing good, and I do the same thing with them. So that's something that me and Gunny we preach all the time. Is connection. We make that connection. That's what we do here. So like Chris Cornelius, he's in the chat right now. He's partnered up there in Wisconsin with Veterans Hunts for Heroes, and they take veterans out hunting, but they also go out fishing with Chris Cornelius and all those guys. They do ice fishing, they do all kinds of fishing. Gunny and I, we're planning on going up there February of next year to go ice fishing. I've never been ice fishing. Gunny's from Maine, so Gunny's been ice fishing many, many, many times. So I'm super excited to go up meet those guys up there in Wisconsin and go do some ice fishing and then go. I think we're doing snowmobiles too, or something of that nature. So super, super excited about that. So let's ask you a question.
Yes.
What makes WMRA's model different from traditional therapy programs?
Well, I mean, it's just I feel like the way that I healed from my injuries, I don't think it was unique. So I modeled our nonprofit after the way I healed. I mean, when I was injured, I was probably on 17 to 21 pills at one time. It was literally killing me. So every symptom that I had, they would give me a pill. Then that would have a side effect, and they would give me a pill. And then it was the opiate epidemic in the VA.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, get your gamma, whatever I was on.
Gabapentin. Yeah.
There you go. I was sucking those things down. And so finally I'm like, this is leading to a dead end. This is leading to, something really bad. And, I learned how to fly fish, and I went out to Snowmass, Colorado with my wife. And I was taught how to fly fish with my wife. And it was like the breaking open of a veil or something. It just, to me, God had introduced me to something that would change my life forever. And I've been a passion of that sport ever since. Standing knee deep in the Roaring Fork River with a million different colors of river rock and trout. The creek was so clear. The trout were everywhere. My wife was slamming them. I was getting skunked. I was getting mad. It was just heaven. And I was there with the best group of veterans, and I still call them all today, And to me, it was a life-changing event. So, I mean, and then I started going on some of the VA winter sports clinics that's held also in Snowmass. And, I picked up adaptive skiing, and I just, I fell in love with outdoor therapy and sport, and it saves lives. It saves it saves a lot of lives, a lot of veterans' lives, I should say. Like I said, when the demons start knocking and you have to fill your cup up, to me, it's simply as going out and grabbing a fishing pole and wetting my line. Then all of a sudden I feel great again. And my wife's I tell people this, I say, I'm not a rock climber. I'm like 280 pounds, 6'4". I used to be, probably could have in my youth, but I'm too big now. But, you watch these guys rock climb, and they tap in these carabiners into the rock. And what do they do that for? So when they fall, something catches them, right? You got to have these carabiners in life. You have to have these carabiners in life. You have to have people in your life that are at least close by to say, all right, Robert, you ain't doing too good. That's my wife. Yeah. She goes, you need to go out fishing. You need to go to the sports bar, and watch U of H beat Kentucky. Something like that, you gotta get out of the house, because it can get, I'm comfortable being by myself. I'm comfortable being lonely. I'm comfortable being isolated. COVID was great for me. We're gonna lock down the virus 12 days inside. I'm like, great, let's do it. It was way too comfortable, but, PTSD is too strong. If you could heal yourself, you would. It doesn't work that way. The best way I found to heal is in community. And so that's what I preach. That's what I believe. That's where I put my money. I mean, that's where I walk, and that's where I talk. And I mean, I just, with every fiber in my body, I believe that.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So, all right. So upcoming trips for 2026. So we're in March. So you got one coming up March 4th through the 6th, which is fly fishing in New Braunfels, Texas.
Yeah.
You got March 29th through the 30th. You got a fishing trip in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
April, you don't have dates yet, but in April you got a fishing trip at Lake Conroe, Texas.
We do.
May. So you got pretty much every month you got trips going, which is super cool. Now, how would veterans, if they wanted to, how would they go apply, and what is the criteria for them to come out to one of your events?
Well, you go to our website, and I think I see the website scrolling, www.mywmra.org. We have an application there, and just fill it out. I mean, all we're really looking for, the application is pretty straightforward. Just want the basics. I don't want any classified information. I don't want your social security number. I don't even want your date of birth. I mean, because then it just adds another layer of work that we have to do. So you fill out the application. I'll give you a call. In that call, just like the three of us, I can tell if you're legit or not in about five minutes of conversation. Honorable discharge, where'd you serve? What's your MOS? Where'd you do basic? What was your MOS? Your AIT, were you in combat? Where'd you go? If you don't know the right answers to that, I don't get the warm and fuzzy. And that's never happened, by the way. I've never had anybody try to pull the wool over my eyes. And I don't think it's ever happened, it may have happened to other veteran organizations I'm not aware of, but everybody that I've taken out on our trips have been, fairly solid people, good character, men and women, and like I said, lifelong friendships out of that. But just apply when a trip comes up. I usually put something out, and I'm very active on social media. I'll put trip coming up in May. We got 3 slots open. DM me if you really want to go. Otherwise, I'll just put the email out and we'll start calling down the list. But yeah,
So
we try to get it.
I do have a question, and I want to interrupt here before I forget it.
Uh-huh.
So basically, they fill out the application online at the website www.mywmra.org. Fill out the application, then you give them a call, right? And then they're like, "Oh yeah, I served here. I did this. I did this." What about the people who claim to be veterans, but they're not veterans, and they know enough to fool people, because it's happened umpteen million times, unfortunately, in the veteran community.
Yeah.
How come? I don't mean to say this. There should be a better way of figuring out, like they have to prove DD with DD 214 or something of that nature, because there have been, unfortunately, I've been in the nonprofit world since 2004. Gunny's been in it since 2011, 2012
before that
or before that. And we've seen it with our own eyes. We've had people come into our organizations here locally and say, "Oh yeah, I served. I went to boot camp here. These are the months I went to boot camp. This is a platoon I was with, all this good jazz. And this is where I served at." And they knew enough to fool people who are seasoned veterans,
until you get into having real conversations, like true real conversations.
And then they get busted. That's when the truth comes out. Here 3 years later, and you find out, oh, that person wasn't a veteran. But you look back and you're like, well, they knew this, they knew this, they knew this. So me personally, I would say to you guys, I know it's going to be a little bit more work on your end, but to keep your nonprofit in good standings, you need to have something, a way to better determine if they are veterans or not, because people can say, yeah, I'm a veteran, I'm not a veteran, but if you don't prove, hey, here's my DD 214, I got them on my phone, I got both copies, I got two DD 214s, the one from the first time and the one for the second time, and somebody says, hey, you're not a veteran, I can pull it up and say, well, here's my DD 214, it's got all my information on it. So me personally, being on boards of nonprofits, that you have to verify. You can't take, unfortunately,
and you can redact, right?
Words.
Like I have my DD 214 on my phone. I have my member 1 copy and my member 4 copy that even talks about my discharge, right? That's the only one. Your member 1 copy doesn't do that. Your member 4 copy does it, but your member 1 copy does it. It also talks about your reenlistment code. You can redact your social, you can redact your address, you can redact your date of birth using your phone.
Yeah.
I have to do it all the time. Every nonprofit that I've been involved in, while I was there, we incorporated. We want to see proof of some sort.
Yeah.
Whether if you're coming on a VA rating, all you have to do is print off that thing. There's no vital information on that.
Right.
Yeah, your VA.
Right. And you can get that on your phone and send it. DD 214. I want your member 4 copy because I want to see your discharge code.
Yeah.
I want to see everything. And I don't want your, same like you said, I don't want your date of birth. I don't want your social security number. I don't care what address you enlisted from. Redact all that. I need your name and I need what's at the bottom of the page.
No, valid points.
So that way nobody,
It protects you in the long run.
Yeah.
All right. So next question that I have, and we're running short on time, because this is going to be on Reese Across America Radio on Thursday night. So I want to keep it within our time constraints. So, if somebody wanted to volunteer, if somebody wanted to donate, how would they go about doing that?
We have donation buttons on all of our social media platforms. We have a donation link on the website. As far as volunteering, we have a lot of volunteers for the nonprofit. Both in the two places we normally work here and in Colorado. And, still looking for more volunteers. Most of the time when I'm in Colorado, I'm working, so I don't get a lot of time to network. But whenever I put a plea out for help, I get almost everything that we need, whether it's, I put a little note out on the community social media that, I really struggle cooking at high altitudes. And I got all these guys coming in, and it would be nice to have a cake or two or some brownies. Man, I had like 20 cakes delivered to the house, we were going down to the river and we were short one boat. And I just said, hey, this is kind of a long shot, but I'm going to put it out there anyway. Is anybody out there with a boat that can take 2 vets out? You don't have to be a guide, but just have a heart for veterans and have a little bit of knowledge of the river. Man, we had so many people come in and say, hey, man, we're here for you. You need a boat? I'll be there. And we have guys that come out and help our veterans fish. They'll stand beside them, especially sometimes, we might have an amputee out there, with an arm or a leg or something, and they need a little special help. But, just to go out there and stand beside somebody fishing, helping them rig up and stuff like that. We get most of our activities are actually donated. From the community. That was just their gift, to our organization. And we really appreciate our volunteers, our sponsors who do that. We get fed at the restaurants, virtually for free. The local barber gives all of our guys haircuts for free. He's a Navy vet. That's awesome. Stuff like that, little things. But yeah. We're always looking for volunteers and help. I'm just a phone call away. We're doing a joint fishing trip with another nonprofit at the end of in the beginning of April, and we're filling that trip. Trying to get the guys at the Outdoor Rec at the Michael DeBakey Veterans Center here in Houston. They're going to fill a boat for us. We're always looking to network, and expand our program. We do a lot with the VA here. We earn their trust. Yeah. So the VA is not going to get in bed with somebody they don't trust. So whenever we do a trip, I'll give those guys a call and go, hey, I need 6 guys, and they'll send me 6 guys from DeBakey, and we'll put them on a boat and go fish, and then we come back to my place and have a nice barbecue lunch or something,
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
So we got a couple of good friends that live out there in the Houston area. They run the Triple Threat Vet podcast. You got Matt Johnson, who lives out in outside of Katy, Texas. And then you got Ty Cobb, who is actually inside of Houston. I think they would be some good vets to hook up.
I think he's up by Tomball.
Yeah, he's close in that area.
Yeah. That's Greater Houston.
I know. We jump into Tomball every year.
Yeah.
So I think they would be a couple great vets for you guys to link up with. For one, they have an amazing podcast platform as well, and then plus they're in the Houston area. Now I don't know if they're fishermen, but I'm sure they would probably like to check you out and maybe go through, go on a fishing trip or woodworking or snowshoeing or whatever they could probably go do with you guys.
Yeah.
And then like I was just talking about veterans hunts for heroes, and there's some other great organizations that you can link up with and do like Warriors Next Adventure and Montana Warriors on the Water, and which are some great nonprofits that we've had on the show that kind of do the same thing that you do. So that way you can network with them and say, hey, I got this veteran that lives in Montana. He wants to go fly fishing. Well, we can hook him up with Debbie and her husband, and with Montana Warriors on the Water, or you can link them up with them, and they can take him out. Because I know for a vet to go on one of your trips, they have to pay for their own trip out there. That's something that you guys are not doing at the present moment in time. So if they're closer, like in Montana or Minnesota or Wisconsin, and there's organizations that's already doing what you're doing, but they're closer to that vet, and they can afford to drive 45 minutes compared to getting on a flight to Texas. So but I need to link you with a few of those organizations, and hopefully you guys can work something out and partner with each other, because that's the only way we're going to combat. Well, it's not the only way, but it's a major way of combating the 22 a day, is if all these organizations work together. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of organizations out there that say, hey, these are my vets, and they get mad if they go to another organization. So, I'm nobody's vet. I'm my own vet. I'm my wife's vet. But when it comes to a nonprofit, I'm going to go to a nonprofit that makes me feel wanted, appreciated, welcomed, and it actually works for me. Because I'll try basket weaving, but if I don't like it, I'm going to go find something I do like. Outdoor therapy is one of the things that I love doing. So, but anyhow, I do want to say thank you again for coming on here and hanging out with Gunny and I for this hour. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to talk about real quick before we get ready to end the show?
No, I think we hit everything. I mean, I would just ask people to, if you're interested in outdoor therapy, sign up, follow us on social media. Like we're pretty active on social media. I try to put out a very positive message in our community and give people hope, and sprinkled with a little humor, a little of that military humor. I got to keep it checked every now and then. My wife keeps me in check. It can get pretty dark. You know how it is. I'm just very, very blessed to be doing what we're doing. As long as we're fully resourced and there's a need, we're just going to keep on doing it and try to help as many people as we can.
Heck yeah, man.
That's what it's all about.
Well, I want to, like I said, I do want to say thank you again for coming on and talking about your organization and what you guys are doing. I'm going to follow. I've already followed you on pretty much every social media platform I can follow you on. So I'm going to continue following your progress.
The king of MySpace.
King of MySpace. Oh my God, you're dating yourself there, brother. I thought it was King of AOL.
Yeah.
But anyhow, man, I definitely want to say thank you for coming on and hanging out with Gunny and I and talking about your organization and what you guys do. I knew Gunny would be interested because he loves fishing. I love the outdoors. I was like, this seems like a really, really good fit for HomeFront Sitrep. Plus, you're out there and you still care about us as veterans, and you don't see us as a number. So that's something that we always highlight here on HomeFront Sitrep is the nonprofits, the mom and pop, the grassroots that still care about us as veterans. So thank you to you and your wife. I don't know if she's there, if she's still watching or not, but thank you to both of you guys for creating your organization, and we're super excited to get to see your journey from here.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the talk.
Sir. Well, thank you. All right, Gunny, how cool was that, my friend?
Good stuff. I mean, I'm always open to talk about fishing.
Oh yeah.
Right. It doesn't matter. I mean, fishing, it's fishing, right? But when they're out there doing it for the veteran and they're doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it for the mental health. They're doing it for the clarity. They're doing it for the recovery. They're doing it for the camaraderie. I mean, we can talk until I'm blue in the face. When they're doing it for that,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah. It's all about that outdoor therapy, whether, let's see, comments. Yep. So Amy's still on here. She said, thank you so much for having us. No, thank you, Miss Amy. And then Chris says, what is his Facebook people or page? I have people out there that would help him out too. Chris, it is, let me pull up Facebook and I'll put their page. So it's Warriors Mountain River Adventure is their Facebook page. Let me get the link and I'll throw it out there for you.
Yeah, throw it in the chat.
That way people.
No, dude. I mean, it's always like I said at the beginning of the show. We could have somebody that has fishing as their stuff every week, and I'd be happy, right? I mean, that brings joy to me just even talking about it. You know, and when we talked pre-show about you know what they fish for out there, and you know where he's at, and could you imagine one of them hybrid bass freaking smacking your line? Just all you hear is right. Come on, there's nothing better than that, dude.
Dude, that'd be so. Well, when we were down in where were we for New Year's this past year? Pensacola or the Green Orange Beach, Gulf Shore, Orange Beach area. We went out, you know, 10 miles out, and those mingos, man, when they hit that line, brother, and they were gone. It was like heck yeah. And then we were fighting the dolphins, them damn assholes. We were fighting the dolphins.
And I mean, they'll steal your stuff, man. If it's not the dolphin, it's the shark. You got to be careful when you're fishing in the ocean or the Gulf, or you know the big body. Even if you're on Okeechobee, you got to watch for that daggum stinking dinosaur to come get your stuff. So all that stuff.
What's going on, John?
Where are the bass?
Where's the
still swimming if you didn't catch them? Because I don't fish for it.
Right. But no, so go check out their website, www.mw or mywmra. So that's mywmra.org. So go check out their website. Go to their Facebook. The link's in chat right now at the present moment in time. So go find them on Facebook. Warriors Mountain River Adventures. And my messenger, as soon as I open Facebook, my messenger is going friggin' bing, 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 bing. Yeah. So yeah, go check out their website. Gunny, it is that time of night, my friend. What do you think?
It is, man. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Let's see.
Gunny's words of wisdom.
A bee does not waste its time trying to convince a fly that honey tastes better than poo.
Say that again for those in the back.
A bee does not waste its time trying to convince a fly that honey tastes better than poo.
Oh God, we need to clip that. That's freaking awesome. Oh man, that is freaking awesome.
Where's the bass? Where's the bass? Not bass. See, there's the English. The English language is so stupid. He had to put a speaker beside it for me to understand what he was saying.
Yeah, so I mean, bass.
We're talking about bass.
He wanted the bass. Yeah, you're gonna give him the bass, Gunny. Let's. All right, here we go.
It's time for the joke of the day.
I just said it.
When is the only acceptable time to use trench warfare?
When is the only
Acceptable time to use trench warfare
warfare? When you're taking a poo?
as a last ditch effort.
Ah, dunch.
Where's
Do
that
we
at?
even
What do I
have
got?
that one on our stuff?
Maybe. There we go. Here.
There it is.
There it is. There it is. Bongo style. That is good. So Chris said, I think he's talking about yours. Words of wisdom. All right, Gunny. It is that time of night, my friend.
Yeah, we got to close this thing out. Yeah, you're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Don't let the dark days win. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down. A lot of us gave our youth to our nation, and we lost our identity and our sense of purpose when we left the service. That was only a chapter in the book, my friends. Only one chapter.
Amen. To every veteran who carries unseen scars, know this: you're not alone. The battles within don't have to be fought in silence because your brothers and sisters still stand beside you. The uniform may come off, but the bond remains. And together we heal, we rise, and we carry each other forward. And remember the key word: together. Together we heal, together we rise, and together we carry each other forward. Hashtag be someone stranger, guys. Listen, we talk about this on every episode, at the end of every episode. Be someone stranger. And what I mean by that, we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. So be someone stranger. When you're out and about and you see somebody and it looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them and say, "Hey, how you doing today?" And if they give you the red flags, "I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living a dream," ask the next hard question: how are you really doing? Now, when I say that, you have to be ready for that. You have to be ready for that conversation, because it could be a 5-minute conversation, could be an 8-hour conversation. You have to be ready for that conversation and just listen. Man, a lot of times we as humans, we just want to talk and vent our frustrations. We don't want somebody to fix us. We just want to vent our frustrations.
Well,
You
and men are
might,
worse about it. Men want to try to fix every damn thing, right? And we
yeah,
have to just be able to listen sometimes.
yeah, we just have to listen. Don't try to fix them. Just listen.
Yeah, and it takes a village. The people that you surround yourself with, those people that are closest to you, are always going to be the first ones that you reach out to. But remember, we all have probably hundreds of contacts in our phone of people that we've met along the way. Pick up your phone, open your contacts, do that cell phone roulette, right? Just scroll, 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 stop, look at it, dial it, right? Hey, brother, just needed an event today. You got a minute? Or hey, just call in the chat, see how you're doing. Hang up, call somebody else till you get somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
That
So
the
just
person the person on the other line maybe just need to hear your voice or a voice.
yeah,
So you could have
yeah.
saved their life today.
Just reach out. I mean, that's kind of plays back into be someone stranger. You never know. Like Gunny said, you might not have talked to them for 10 years. Just scroll through your phone, click on whoever it lands on, give them a shout. You might save their life. So definitely takes a village, my friend. All right, big shout out to our partners. First, I'm gonna give another shout out to sofmissions.org. That's sofmissions.org. Gunny's got the cup right there. Great organization. The volunteers and the staff down there in Tampa were friggin' phenomenal when it comes to nonprofits.
That's phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Thanks. I thought, hey, anytime, Chris. So go check out sofmissions.org. They do have 2 all-female sessions. I forget what months they are, but they do
I
have
don't remember.
sessions. But the staff down there, dude, I can't sing their praise enough. They're
And
friggin'
it's not just for veterans, it's first responders as well.
yeah.
And I said it last week, and I'm going to say it every time we mention this. When you are filling out the application, it's going to say branch. When you click the drop down for branch at the very bottom, it'll say law enforcement, EMT, or firefighter. So it's under the branch section. So just don't think that when you open that application that they're looking for just military. It's first responders as well.
Yeah. And that's at first it was veterans only, and then they're like, no, we need to do it in a first responder world as well, because they realize that first responders deal with PTSD and trauma daily. So they open it up now to first responders as well. And I tell you, we had one first responder in our class when we were there, and some of the stories that he was telling us about, God, I can only fathom, running into a burning building and pulling a child out, bro. I would be devastated. I can run at bullets. Give me that. I'll run at bullets flying at me, but friggin' running into a building to save a child, bro, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could do it.
Well, you could do it, but then the mental toll it takes, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
And we know that within the first responder community that they see more trauma than most of us did on active duty. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't, maybe you spend 40 years on active duty, you may not see as much trauma as a firefighter, an EMT, or a police officer sees in, their, we'll just say 5 years because of accidents and everything else that's going on in our country.
Yeah. So yeah, check out sofmissions.org. All right, up next we got Heroes Media Group. We got Mr. Adam Bird at heroesmediagroup.com. That's heroesmediagroup.com. Phenomenal guy. Adam is amazing. He's built a network of veteran podcasters and other things on heroesmediagroup.com. So go check out heroesmediagroup.com. Up next, we got reachacrossamerica.org/radio. HomeFront Sitrep is on there Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern on reachacrossamerica.org/radio. Up next is sameflagsameoath.com, small t-shirt company in Katy, Texas, or outside of Katy, Texas. We have our shirt, the Marine It Down shirt, which is in the bottom corner of the screen there. You can go to their website, go to co-branded, scroll down till you find our shirt, click on it, order the shirt. They're amazing quality. Uncle Sam loves his shirt. He wears it all the time. He don't take it off ever.
Nasty. Doesn't even wash it.
Don't even wash it. He just wears it all the time. But it is air dried. So when he sweats, it just air dries all the time. So Uncle Sam needs to change his shirt every now and then. So go check out sameflagsameoath.com. Next is eliteengraving24.com. Gunny is going to show you the hat right there.
Look at that. How do you know I had it right here?
I knew you had it. So go check out eliteengraving24.com. You can get any style Richardson hat that they have to offer. Then it'll have the red patch on there. And that's safe to wear for Red Fridays. So make sure you get a hat and tag HomeFront Sitrep on it on all social media platforms. Gunny, this is you, brother.
Yeah, you get Valor Coins and Pins, owned by brothers Brent and Brian Casey. Brent is an Army veteran, and they are both the grandson of the late Woody Williams. And if you can send them your design on a napkin, and they will generate a computer rendering for you, and then you guys just go back and forth until you get what you need. They do obviously coins. They did the HomeFront Sitrep coin. They do medals. They do pins. They do poker chips now. So there's just a ton of stuff they can do. If you're in the market for a coin, a pin, a medal, a poker chip, reach out to Valor Coins and Pins, and they'll take great care of you.
Yeah, showing the HomeFront Sitrep coin there. Awesome. Up next, Gunny, I'll let you take that one too.
Yeah, RDC shoes. owned and operated by a Marine and former law enforcement officer, Darren Davis. Man, they got some great products. I wore my Patriots to the White House on
Nice.
Friday. So yeah, they have 3 different shoes out right now. They have the Glory, which is a red and white themed shoe, and on the back it has the blue field with the stars. They have the Patriot shoe, which the whole shoe is the blue with the stars on it, and then the tongue is a little red, white, and blue, and then one of the eyelets on the top, I think, are gold to resemble the Gold Star families.
One on each side, yeah.
Yeah. And then they have the Folds of Honor shoe that is modeled after the Glory, but a portion of the proceeds of that goes to help Folds of Honor do their mission. And I don't know if they have the golf shoe out yet, but they were working on it.
Yeah.
So that may be coming, or it is out. I've not looked at the webpage recently, so I'm not sure on that one. But again, great company doing great things. They were named one of the top shoe companies for the America 250. So go check them out. rdcshoes.com.
So are they coming out with a 250 shoe too?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Might have to reach out to Darren and find out.
So I'm on their website right now. Let's see. I see them. So right now they just got the Patriot shoe, the Folds of Honor Glory shoe, which is pretty neat. I actually like that one. Trying to see. I don't see anything about. Let's see. Let's go to order.
I think that's it.
Anywho, so while we're doing that, all right. So
you got this one here.
Which one I got?
Scrolling on the bottom, man.
Oh, Cav. Yeah. I was looking at this. I was looking at the website. All right. Challenge America. It created CavArts, which is Challenge America Veterans in the Arts program. So go check out cavarts.org. That's cavarts.org. If you want to learn how to play the guitar, how to do leatherworking, how to bake a cake, how to do podcasting, how to do anything that's considered art, poetry, photography, go check out cavarts.org. It's a safe space for veterans only. That's the key there. It's for veterans only. So there's not. Now, granted, we know veterans can be negative sometimes. When you're there, it's a safe space. If you're disturbing that safe space of somebody else that's within the community, they will boot you out of the out of the group. But they will talk to you several times via email first before they boot you out. It takes a lot for them to boot you out. So, but go check out cavarts.org. Amazing organization. The team there is phenomenal. So go check out cavarts.org. Also go check out HomeFrontSitrep.com. You can see all these great veteran nonprofits, veteran authors, veteran business owners, veteran singers, comedians that we've had on the show over the course of 3 years, because we just went over our 3-year mark. February 28th was our 3-year mark. So happy 3-year birthday to HomeFront Sitrep. So go check out HomeFrontSitrep.com. Other than that, Gunny, that's it, my friend.
What do we have tomorrow?
Tomorrow we have Josh White Racing. He is a Marine Corps reservist. I don't know if he's still in. He might be. But he has 2 race cars. He started out with 1. So he was at the NASCAR level at one time. And then he gave that up to do whatever. And then now he's getting back into racing. He's doing dirt track racing, if I remember correctly, at the present moment in time. They just added a second car to it. And I want to say Valor Coins and Pins is one of his sponsors. So super cool there.
Nice.
So tomorrow we have Josh White Racing. Next week,
we'll talk about that tomorrow. That's next week.
Right. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. We're
closing.
It's time to say goodnight, Willis. Dadgummit.
All right. Like we always say on HomeFront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got your
six.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find HomeFront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your 6.